how to remove oil pan off of a 97 GMC Yukon with the 4x4 without having to lift the engine up. These would be the steps that you would need to take, which is based off the book. So first you're going to want to drain your oil, take your oil filter off. Then you're probably going to want to disconnect your battery. You're gonna take off, drop your exhaust. So you're gonna have to take those 3 bolts and then those 3 bolts off. This is gonna come down. When it does, then you're gonna have to you're gonna want to get your starter out of the way so it could get out of your way. I believe those are the same size bolts. I think there's a 15. And you're going to want to take these brackets off as well on both of these. Then you're going to want to come back here where your bracket's holding your oil cooler lines. You're going to want to pop them out, because when you drop this cover for the flywheel, you're going to need to push them to the side in order to take it out. You're going to want to disconnect these bolts here. You don't even have to take this shaft off, just leave it there. Just take off these nuts right here, all 4. And then how we're gonna do it is you're gonna leave this bottom bolt in of the 4x4 of the front differential. You're gonna remove only the 2 here and over there. There's 2 bolts there. You're gonna have to take those off, and then you're gonna have to go to the front and take off the top one, holding the differential, which essentially is gonna let your front differential tilt forward. And once that happens, you turn your wheels to the left and it will give you enough clearance to take this oil pan off, and you do not have to pick up the motor. That's actually more work than this. This is actually easy. You could probably do it in like about an hour, 30 minutes. You're gonna want to take that off for your oil cooler. You could leave, I believe, this bracket hanging from there, but this one you have to remove it because it won't let you remove the oil pan bolts on this side. They're in your way. But this one you can leave it here because this one swings out the way. Oh, and the reason I was saying you can leave the shaft here is because once the differential tilts forward, it disconnects itself from here. I mean, you might want to pry it out just a little bit, but if like my case, that you can't even push it back, just leave it in there. It's not going to be an issue. But I believe these bolts here, 15, 15, 15. I believe those are like 13 for the oil cooler, or 12s. But yours could be different. But just don't take that bolt out right here in the bottom holding the front diff. Leave that one in. And yeah, I'll show you the steps. Alright, took off the bolts to the front diff. Took off passenger side. Also took the starter off to get it out of my way. But now I'm free to take all these bolts off. This one obviously moves out the way. I'm still gonna have to take the oil adapter off. I'll do that next. And then just the front diff bolts. I'll be back then. Oh shit. is what I've done so far. Took the exhaust off. Took the pan off. I had to push those lines out of the bracket. Move these out of the way to pull it out. 5-way cover. So next, I'm gonna take off the bolts for the diff there. Then starter. And then I'm gonna take off the bolts for the front diff. The two over there. Leave the bottom one. Take the top one off only. Okay, I have now taken off the oil filter adapter. I also took off the two bolts that hold the front diff here and here. And the next one is going to be the one on top. But now is actually when you have to put a jack underneath here. So I'm going to get the jack, put it underneath here just to hold it. And I'm going to take off that top bolt. Once I take off that top bolt, you can use the jack to lower it slowly. It actually bottoms out here at this bracket right here, so this will end up, well, this part will end up right here. It'll tip forward, and you don't have to remove your axles. You can leave them in your axles. This is the final result. As you can see, I placed the jack under the front diff. I disconnected it, and once I tilted it forward, it disconnected itself. Now you have plenty of room, and if you still need more room, you turn the steering wheel to the left. You turn your wheels to the left, and this is gonna push away from the oil pan and give you more clearance, because sometimes the biggest hurdle is this bump right here where my fingers are at. It doesn't let the oil pan get past that, but it should come out free now that I've done all of that. Now you just gotta take off all the bolts to the oil pan, and it should come pop right out. See, easy peasy. And I can actually take the jack out completely because it will not move from here. It won't drop any more forward. That bolt's still holding it, and since the axles are still connected, it won't let it tilt any more forward. If you need a little more clearance.